Welcome back to the Human Spectrum. Thanks for joining me today. We're going to cover some interesting things. If you've been following my videos, you probably already know that apparently the Earth is tilted 15 degrees. And what we're being told is that it's because of the water we've been using. The same water that rains down on us when we need it. So in my last video, I was very skeptical of what the mainstream put out. Water is the reason why the Earth is tilted. And whether or not that has anything to do with this early sunrise and early, again, we have three different sunrises. You got the nautical sunrise, and you got the civil sunrise, which is for us. But we already got into that in the last video. So it's still happening. Although we are now in the summer solstice, we are going backwards a few minutes every week. And but there is something interesting that I found out by accident the other night. And at the end of this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what that is. And then I'm going to ask you if you've noticed the same thing. And I'll need some comments because this is huge. So I did take some more videos and images of, it's about 2 days ago, of the early twilight again. So I'm going to go ahead and show those. And then I have some videos. Some videos will be dark because it's dark outside. It's around 3 in the morning. The purpose of those videos, you might hear some popping and crackling. That's just me moving around. I'm not sure why it was popping and crackling, but it's not that bad. You're going to be able to hear, and I'm going to put it up as loud as I can so you guys can hear what I'm talking about. Number one, before we get to the early twilight, birds are chirping at 3 in the morning. We were talking about this last year and some other YouTubers. Very abnormal. It's not normal for North American countries to have birds chirping at 3 in the morning. So that's become a thing again. In the spring, I didn't notice it too much, but now that the summer solstice is here, I noticed that we're hearing birds, and they're loud. And you'll get to hear it on what I'm going to show you here. So we're going to go up to our Human Spectrum folder, and let's get this capture up here. Probably make myself a little smaller. This is going to be interesting. So, first thing I'm going to do is go to the videos, and I have them kind of named here. I'm going to go ahead and show you this one here. This one is birds chirping at 3:05 a.m. Please excuse the popping noises. That's me just, going around with the camera. But if you listen closely, you are going to hear the birds chirping. And I have this, it's metadata also, but I have it renamed as 3:05 a.m. because that's when I took the video. So let's go ahead and try that real quick and see if you can hear that on your end. Okay. All right. Let's just shut that down there. All right, so you were hearing, hopefully, I hope you guys heard that. For me, it was louder. I put it as loud as I could hear. Um, you could hear the birds chirping, and that was at 3:05. One thing one thing you're going to notice, and I'm going to ask this of all of you. Here's another video. Now, you probably already see what's there, but I want you to tell me what's missing. So we're going to pause this for a second, and we'll go ahead and get you that sound. About 3:32 in the morning, 3:35, birds are chirping. That is not normal. And by the way, still no crickets. And we'll be back to you in a little while. See what the sunrise looks like. Because apparently we're still having early sunrises close to 3:50, 4 o'clock in the morning. Okay, so that was me talking there, telling you that the birds were chirping. At that time it was 3:30 in the morning on June 25th. And what you're not hearing is what I should be hearing. And I want to know if you guys are noticing this. And if you haven't noticed, this is actually happening. I'm just going to bring up this real quick for you to hear. Now, at no time did we hear that in the background. So basically what I'm saying is, I'm not hearing any crickets at sunset, at sunrise. I mean, usually it's around when the sun's going down, and I mean it's loud. I mean, even in urban areas, you can hear the crickets. If your neighborhood is, let's say, predominantly quiet at night, maybe 12 midnight, 1 in the morning, your crickets should be sounding like that. And if you notice in all my videos, all you heard were the birds. Hopefully you heard the birds. But I, for the life of me, was not even paying attention. I have not been hearing crickets. And there's land around me. I'm in a pretty much rural area just outside the one of our upstate cities. So I don't understand. Did any one of you guys pick up on that? Because literally, while I was out there filming and taking pictures and stuff, no crickets. So I'm speaking for the Northeast. I'm asking anyone around the world and around North America, Canada, Mexico, United States. Take notice to that when your sun's going down. Are you hearing those cricket noises like we should be? And it's normal. We've been hearing that since we were kids. But I'm hearing nothing. Not even one. Not even one. And, it's been told that, when things happen to people or, unknown things happen, things go quiet in the woods and all that. But I'm just talking about that was your average North American cricket, or crickets making noises. Upstate New York, in my area, central New York, I'm not hearing any crickets at all. None. Not one. So take a listen, and if you're noticing the same thing and just realize that you haven't noticed it, like I haven't noticed it until recently, that was by accident. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm hearing the birds, but I'm hearing no crickets. It should be like a bit loud with the crickets. And I realized it's just completely silent out there. Like they're just shut down, not here, sleeping, hibernating, whatever they do. I do know that in the spring and summer and fall, we hear crickets, until the cold weather's back. Let me know if you're hearing it, because I find that absolutely amazing. I mean, it's unbelievable. We're going to go to some images real quick. These are the latest images, and I numbered the ones that are important because we still have an issue. Something is going on. You already know that the Earth apparently is tilted up to 15 degrees in history, and they're blaming it, and mainstream media is saying is that the reason for the tilting of the Earth, this extra tilt, which could be affecting this early sunrise. I don't know. I'm trying to put two and two together. I could be wrong. Is because we've been using so much water. But like I said, that doesn't jive with me because it still rains. I get we have drought areas and there's droughts, but it still rains. Unless something or some mighty force sucked certain 5% of our ocean out somewhere into space and we didn't know about it, it's not water. And then you want to talk about fossil fuel, how long, and then they're pumping that out. I mean, not by the gallons. We're talking by the barrels. And we're talking about tons and tons of barrels a day. And so I don't know. So that's a good one. I like that one. A good cover story. It's the water that we humans have been using. Yeah. Okay. All right. If you believe it, let me know in the comments. It's just my opinion. I'm entitled to it, and so are you guys. And I'd love to hear your opinion. So let's go over a few civil twilights, because that's what we're in. If you're on land, if you're close to the water, you're likely going to see a nautical twilight. So we're going to go with Civil Twilight 1. This is the latest that I've taken. No one has sent anything in for Twilight for me yet. I did receive some other videos and I'm working on those. This is 3:56 a.m. I don't know. To me, you can see that there's a pole there, a telephone pole, and usually, at least for me, around 1 in the morning, that telephone pole is blended in pretty much with the background. So there's already some light there at this metadata showing 3:56 a.m. But that's not exactly civil twilight. That the moon can make that happen. But it wasn't really a full moon that night. We just had a full moon. So, but it wouldn't be that bright. Because we're going to move on to the next one. Civil Twilight number 2. And this one has the moon in it also. I just found something interesting. I don't know what that is. I mean, I don't know if you guys noticed that, but there's this little thing right there. Now, we talked about this with the sun, but now I don't know what that is. And I'm not getting double flares either. It's just something green there, and I took several photos and they all came out the same. I don't know if that's anything. It might not be anything. But if you're seeing anything by the moon, like some of these other channels are proclaiming and showing, send me a copy and I'll take a look at it and we'll show it here on the Human Spectrum. All right, so that's Civil Twilight number 2. And we're going to go to Civil Twilight number 3. We're going right in order. Okay, and this is on 6:25. Now we're at 4:01 a.m. Now, just before I go any further, if you go on your phone, you have your weather. Most of us have our weather right in the top part, or wherever you have it on your phone. You click on it, it tells you your sunrise and sunsets. It's even animated now. It's got the little circle, and it tells you what time the sun comes up, what time the sun goes down. Sunrise, sunset. Sunrise is in the east, sunsets in the west. All right, so now this is 4:01 a.m. Now that's officially, if you're seeing this here, that's officially the beginning of civil twilight, because you can see a little orange there. And that's Jupiter, I'm not sure, but yeah, that's the beginning of civil twilight. On the 25th, I looked up, the sunrise was supposed to be at 5:23, if I'm not mistaken. We're an hour and 20 minutes ahead with twilight. This is what you should be seeing around 7. Well, actually not this, but I would say around 5:15 this is what you should be seeing. Let's go to number number 3, or number 4 rather. So with twilight number 4, almost looks like the same, but you can see that there's a little more color coming in and a more brightness behind the trees. I mean, come on. It's 4:01 on this one, and you can tell it's civil twilight already. So it's still happening, guys. I'm just using my regular cell phone camera. Take a few pictures if you happen to be up. If you have a shift where you're coming home at that time of night, just take a picture before you get in your car toward the east. If you're close to 3:50 or 4 o'clock, anywhere in the United States or Canada, because I'm hearing this is happening everywhere. And this may have something to do with the scientists have admitted on mainstream media that the Earth has tilted for the first time, pretty much. Well, they say it was a gradual tilting, but I'm not sure about that. So they're saying it's a full 15 degrees tilt from what the Earth was supposed to be, or what we're used to. Another story. So let's moving on. 4:01 at 6:25. You can see it's pretty lit up there on civil twilight number 4. We're gonna go to, let's see, number 5. Yeah, it's 4:02 a.m. That's pretty obvious. Number 6, 4:07 a.m. Now you're starting to see it get even brighter throughout this area here. Now it's starting to come up here. That's looking east, obviously. And we'll go right to 7. And that's a few, obviously it's still 4:07. That was just a few seconds later. But in this particular case, every second counts, because this is not normal. An hour and 25 minutes before this is supposed to really happen, something's off, something's wrong. They're admitting the Earth is tilted. I don't know. All interesting to me. I want to know why. I want to know what's going on. And I want you guys to help me out with this. 4:08, 6:25. Metadata is right there. So with twilight picture number 8. Now we're starting to get a lot of orange and yellow. I mean, that's what it should look like around. And over here you can see it's even more. I don't know if you could see that. Zoom in a little bit. It could be clouds. There's no city on that side there. That's all farmland on that end. So let's go ahead to number 9. Last one. 4:09 a.m. Sun is almost getting ready to crest up here. That is not normal. So for those of you who sleep through the night and through the morning and get up at 6, 7 o'clock, you're not noticing these things. The sun is coming up an hour based on how our sunset is now. We're going backwards now toward fall. even though it's summer. When the summer solstice starts, we start counting backwards in minutes, not forward anymore. So if the sun sets at 8:44 and we pass summer solstice, a few days later it's going to be 8:43, and so on and so on until the clocks fall back in the fall. So yeah, that's summer. We start falling back on minutes, but it's summer and it still gets hot and stays warm. So that was Civil Twilight number 9. And this picture here at 4:09 a.m., absolutely abnormal. And mind you, when I'm taking these pictures, it's loud with birds. It was loud when it was completely dark at 3 in the morning, 3:05, and then I did another one, as you saw, at 3:35, and when I spoke in, and it's just not right. Um, and there's a couple other things I wanted to show you. Um, that close-up object near the sun. This is the sun's flare. The other one's right. It's because I zoomed in so hard, the secondary flare is kind of out, but you can actually see where it's emanating from. This was on the 28th, and that was 11:31 a.m. Where, in my opinion, the best time to look at this is at sunset. Unfortunately, the geoengineering they do is quite heavy in this region, especially up toward Montreal in Canada, and anywhere where there's a population of over 50,000 people, you're going to see a lot of spraying. And I'm not always seeing airplanes, but I see them forming, so I don't know what's going on with that. So that's another thing we got to dig into. If you have information on that, I do see some, but not all of them. It's just now now it's actually sticking out at the 10, 11 o'clock position. I have some other interesting photos here before we get to the end here. I took a picture of this. This was like the only, including these here, this was the only cloud in the sky at that time of day. Even behind me, there was nothing. And there wasn't much geoengineering that day. But if you look at this cloud, I see it's a little darker in here, but I see like a triangle here and a loop. And I just thought that was just interesting. I just looked off. And can you guys see that? I mean, you can interpret it as an X maybe. Seems to be a little darker in here, even dark over here. But what is this loop thing? And that stayed there for a little while. I didn't. This whole area of clouds was slowly moving this way to the right. But this was pretty much staying in its form. That's what I didn't understand. So I have another one like that. And here's another one. This one's a little more close up. That's at 9:16 p.m. Yeah. It was at night. And I don't know if that's quite right. I'll look into that metadata, but that is still there, and it had moved over, I would say, at least a mile, mile and a half over. So I don't know. I mean, I see the triangle, but the loop is still there. Interesting. I mean, if you've seen anything like this, let me know. But I just wanted to share that with you because, I mean, it caught my attention. And here's another picture of it right here. And again, this is now moving closer to the trees over there. And when it got behind the trees, it was still in that formation. It didn't, what I'm saying is, while it was moving, when clouds move, sometimes they break up and turn into different shapes. This held its form for at least 5 miles to the right until, I stopped taking pictures. I don't know. Usually clouds move around and make different shapes as it's moving from the upper winds in the atmosphere, but no matter what, this whole thing seemed to stay together. And I kind of see another triangle there, but I don't know. It's just interesting to me. So I wanted to share it with you guys. And if you've seen anything like this, a triangle with a loop, that's what I'm calling these things. Triangle loop. I mean, it's just weird. I think I have a few more here. Let's see. This is when it was, yeah, now the trees are, this was way over here when I first started. I'm talking about like this tip was over here. Look how it moves toward, it's going to go behind those trees eventually, but this stays above, the loop stays above the trees. I find it very interesting the whole time that that was moving, because it wasn't stationary. It was moving with the winds, but it stayed in this position. So I wonder, makes you wonder if it's a craft of some kind. I don't know. It's got a triangle shape, and I started watching it over here in this area, and I think I got another one here, number 3. That was me a close up. The trees are probably right around here. It was about to go about, yeah, that was about to go right behind the tree. And at that point, all I could see was like this part. But notice how it keeps its shape, its form. So I just thought that was interesting. So, so the main theme today really is though, civil twilight is still an issue. Um, I don't know, man. It's if anyone has any images of their own civil twilight, please send it to me. Um, I would love a copy of it, and send it to the Human Spectrum. Um, you can send it to um, djcapone46@gmail.com or reports at audiosquadmusic.com. It's going to be in the description. Uh, they're always there. So, and there's more than enough room for video and images. Just please leave me your location and at least your first name or your handle, so we have an idea of where it is and where it happened. Anything unknown, UAPs, clouds like that, stuff that catches you off guard and makes you, you know, some of those things that make you go, you know what I mean? It's a crazy world right now. I mean, who would ever thought that we'd be talking about the Earth tilting 15 degrees more, and the media saying it's because we're sucking too much water out of the Earth? I mean, come on. I don't know. Anyways, thanks for hanging with me today. I have more stuff coming in. Um, if you have stuff, please share it with us. Send it to me. I get it myself personally, and I would love to go live and share it with you guys, and I look forward to that. So any images, any videos of anything unknown, um, whether it's clouds, funny shapes in the skies, geoengineering, or some people call it chemtrails, um, the stuff that helps reflect the sunlight back out into space, not to cover anything up, and UAPs, unknown objects in the sky. Those are the types of things I'm hoping you can send to me. And you have 2 ways of doing that. Again, it's djcapone46@gmail.com and reports at audiosquadmusic.com. Feel free to check out my other channel. It's on YouTube. It's at DJ Point Capone, period Capone. DJ period Capone. That's my official artist channel. Um, where I produce my music and have a new album out. So enjoy that too if you have a chance. But thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll have more to come soon. And please leave any comments on the crickets, because today's issue is, how did I not, I asked myself, how did I not catch that earlier? And I'm telling family members and friends and even neighbors, and they are like, they don't know what to say. They're like, you're right, it's quiet. There's nothing. At least until 3 in the morning. There's no birds really, maybe a few here and there. But that constant chirping you hear throughout the night, when you go to lay your head down on that pillow and go to sleep, nothing. Not one. Not one. I mean, crickets. Where are the crickets? Let me know if you're hearing crickets in your area. If you are, please leave it in the comments. If you are as surprised as I am to find out that while I've been doing all this stuff, looking at the Twilight and all this, taking all these other videos and pictures, that I'm accidentally just stumbled on me that I'm not hearing crickets. If this has happened to you, and if you notice this because you've watched this video, please leave me a comment and say, hey, I'm not hearing crickets the same way in my area either. I mean, let me know. Leave me a comment. I want to know. I want to make sure it's not just me. Obviously, I know it's not just me because I've discussed it with my neighbors, my friends and family, and we're within at least 50-mile radius here in upstate New York. We're not hearing crickets. Why? That is a question we're going to dive into hopefully on the next, along with other stuff, on the next video. So please leave me a comment and let me know if you notice that now, if you're not hearing any crickets in your area. All right. You guys have a good one. Thanks for hanging out with me. And make sure you send me some videos and images so we can throw them up here and go live. You guys have a good one. Take care.